Hi, it's Sheena here. We're looking at the Christmas Snowdrop here, my Perfect Partners Scenic Winter range, and they're the latest of my Perfect Partners dies, and they're the biggest ones I've designed. And there's a little bit of a concept behind them. Well, there's quite a bit of a concept behind them actually, which is what I want to share with you in this video. The idea is that the main element is a large window die. So you basically cut the window out of any size card you want, and then you look through to what's going on behind. So in this card here that has been created by Adele from my design team, we've got the big frame here that's been created with the window die with the little trailing bits, and then we're looking through to a smaller die element, which is the little snowdrop cluster, and then into a background which has also got a die. I've got a little broken apart thing to show you that a little bit clearer. In fact, I'll do that now. So that's a card example, but this is what we're looking at. So here you see this is the main element, the main die. So it's a die that's going to cut and emboss, but it doesn't have an outside cut edge, so you can really make that as big as you want. But it also has a stamp, and the stamp marries up to part of the image to give you all that extra detail. And the inspiration came from Victorian Christmas cards, so there's a lot of detail. If you look at they're very much into the shading lines and the and as I am, I like a lot of detail in my stamped images anyway, so worth a treat. So what I want to show you is how that is going to work. This is going to give you the concept of how the cards go together. I've got just a bit of white card with a bit of inked sky. Not very exciting, but oh look, we've brought in another layer. This is one of the dies in the collection that literally just cuts part of the image. So the bottom bit doesn't have a cut line, top bit does, and it has a corresponding stamp. That's been cut out there, so that's the next layer. That'll look really pretty, as you can see. A little bit of glitter on there. And there's that little cluster of snowdrops. This is the die. That's the die cut. I've popped it on a bit of card there, which will, you see what we're doing is we're creating perspective and interest, and when it's layered we'll have a gorgeous fabulous diorama card we can look into. And then we'll have the outside, so we've got all that interest built up there that we can look into, and you've created a really pretty winter scene. And you can add bits out, add bits in, take bits out, mix and match and swap them out. That's the beauty of the collection, is that you're going to have fun playing with them and changing them up every time. A complete contrast to what we've just seen. Look, this really simple but pretty little effective card here by Jackie from my design team. She hasn't even used the stamp on the outside. She just used some black card with a little bit of the Pebeo gilding wax on it. And then she's created that little scene with a little raw, what are they called? Snowdrops clusters there in there. She's used a stamp from a different set there, which is all part of this collection. So you see how you can keep changing the picture and changing the story. Right, that's fabulous. The main mission though is I want to show you how you get from there. You've got to cut out from with the die, which is here. That's the die. Yeah, big die. All that detailed embossing area. No outside cut line, so you can make it big as you want, but then you've got a stamp. So how do we get that stamp onto that corner bit? That's the main bit I want to show you. Right, so what I've done is I have gone ahead and I've cut and embossed this big snowdrop frame here with the really pretty hanging snowdrops, but I've left it in the die, as you can clearly see. Look, I haven't popped it out even though it wants to, because it's cut so cleanly, but I haven't. I've left it because one thing I haven't shown you yet is the stencil element. We've got the emboss, we've talked about the emboss, but we haven't actually shown you how you can use the stencil bit. So I've got some distressings here. Now I think this is going to be a really pretty palette here. I have peeled paint, I've got ice spruce, I have tumbled glass, and I've got bundle sage. It's going to be all very greeny, touch of blue. Now I'm literally really lightly going through those apertures here with a little bit of this bundle sage, and I say really lightly. The thing is with stenciling, I mean back in the day, I remember this, you think that you've got no colour on there, and then you remove your stencil, it's like, whoa, okay, it was a bit heavy handed, wasn't that? So I'm trying not to be, but I'm trying to put enough on there so that I can kind of show what I'm wanting you to see, which is basically all this little bit of ivy and thing that's around there that doesn't have the stamp. The stamp doesn't fit the whole thing because that would be a huge stamp. I mean, a block wouldn't probably, you wouldn't get a block big enough. And if you got a block big enough, you'd have to be on the, you know, the pastry in here, so we're pudding, and you probably have to take a run and jump to get it to make an impression. So we've got it for part of the image, but not all of it. But that was the plan. I think that looks really pretty that way. So, right, so that hopefully now should have inked around the outside a little bit. Now you can tidy it up a little bit later if it's going to be a little bit patchy. You won't know till you remove the frame, because it looks like there's nothing there until you pop it out, which is what I'm going to do now. So this is what it's like. Here it's a crispy kind of pop, and then you're just going to start and pop away all of this card. Now I'm going to do this, you probably don't need to see me do this, I need to poke out all of those elements, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to take it further and add the stamp. Okay, so I'll join you in a second. So that's it with all the little bits popped out. You'll find that they just want to just pop out because, yeah, they do. These dies have got a really nice deep cut edge to them, so they will cut, you know, heavyweight cord really nicely. So now we've got to get that stamp onto that corner bit. So the easiest way to do it, the only way I know how to do it to be honest, is to pop your stamp on your surface. Do this so that you can get, the best way is to look right over the top of it. I usually stand to do this and have a little bit of a jiggle, but there's an easy way to do it. I'll show you. But because I want you to see it as well, it's not in the ideal position for me, but I'm going to have to just work with it. So before you do anything, before you ink up, just get your head around where it's going. Now you can see my mission here isn't to look at the whole thing and go, whoa, that's not in the right place. And it's like spinning plates if you try and do a huge stamp like that all at once. I am focusing on this top bit. That's going to be my main first mission, is to get this bit here lined up. And that looks pretty doable. Can you see I'm working on the shape, the outside edge of the stamp with the outside edge of the die cut. Now that works because I haven't designed these to have a border. If there was a border, like a millimetre, 2mm border around there, you wouldn't know if it was centred or not. You wouldn't work like this. But because these are edge to edge, all you have to do is get them, eclipse the stamp with the die, and the middle bit does what it should do. So got my head around that. I'm going to use archival watering can ink. I'm using this because I think that it's much more forgiving than black, and if you're using a subtle colouring product, like I want to use a really soft colours in my distress inks, or could be watercolours or watercolour pencils, I think black just looks a little bit harsh. So watering can, archival, it's an oil-based ink. It's going to take a bit longer to dry, which is also good because it means that it gives us a little bit of wiggle room while we're doing this. If we've missed a bit, we can like literally just place the die over it again and pick up the bit we've missed. Now what I'm doing, see how I anchored that? Never take both hands off your image at the same time. Okay, until you're ready to then reposition. Now I've got those top bits about right, and I'm stopping. I've done about a third of it, and now I'm just going to give it a little bit of a nudge to get this side bit there. Now that side bit looks like it's in the right place, and I'm going to continue further down about the next third. Just keep pressing. Now this is embossed as well, so you might have to, like, you know, go over it a bit to pick up all the little bits. And then the last bit is this bit down here that I'm concentrating on, just getting this bit here lined up, pressing around the outsides, just feeling for where the stamp finishes, and hopefully pick it up. That's not bad at all. I can live with that. You can see I've got right to the edge of that snowdrop. I've got right where this little crook here is on this one. I've got right to the edge of that bit of holly. Right there. This is right to the edge. That's right to the edge. Pretty good. That's not bad at all. So that, you saw, I mean, you know, that's it. That's how to do it. Don't try any other way. It isn't going to work for you. Seriously, that's the way. Which is why I'm making these videos. Now, a little bit of extra, we'll do a little bit of colouring. So these are the colours I said that would be pretty cool, I think. So tumbled glass, a bit of which one's iced spruce, lovely. I love that colour. Very muted, very very pale muted, bluey grey green, lovely. Still love bundle sage. And one of my favourite greens, still peel paint, you know, I love peel paint. Really nice palette there, very, very muted. I'll show you what it looks like. So, it's your call, but if you want to keep it very soft and cool colours and, you know, make the snowdrops look like snowdrops, but because, you know, they're white, but you need some colour there to suggest some shading. I think these colours work really nicely. That's the kind of palette we're looking at there, and that looks cool. So then I'm using that literally as my palette, so I might use this one here at the base of my snowdrops just to give it a bit of shading, because again I don't want too much colour in there, but I want it to look like there is a little bit of shading going on. I might put a little bit of tumbled glass in as well. You'll see on all the snowdrops of the line work, it shows you where there's shading. You don't have to start thinking, oh, where's this light source, lock, what's going on? Look at the stamp. I've done that for you, which is why some stamps you'll find are easier to work with than others, because if you just get an outline, it's all you. You've got to then work it out yourself. But I try to give you the best chance of success as possible by you know, putting the clues there for you. The story bit isn't the bit. It's a bit, you know, I don't mind it. I mean, yeah, but it's not the fun bit for me. The fun bit is when I get the stamps back, because that's when I get to play like you do. It's a total leveler there, because the team make things that I don't, you know, my design team, I don't give them a heads up and tell them what I'm looking for. I just want them to get the stuff and play with them and see what their interpretation is. And you know what, it's sometimes a lot better than my idea was when I designed them, and that's fabulous, because that to me tells me then it's a good product, because it's going to get your imagination going and you're going to you know, have fun bringing your own personality and artistic little bits and pieces to the mix, which is what it should be about. The technical bit's the drawing bit, which is kind of like, yeah, well, that's done. Now you get to play. Can you see how now I've used that peeled paint for the ivy leaves, a much warmer leaf colour. We could use the sage maybe for the holly. I'm really liking those really muted colours, to be honest. Really cool. Like, I'm not going to do the whole thing, I'm going to take you back to the one I did earlier, but you can see how it's working. Just continue with that and have a bit of play. You want, if you've got a lot of foliage together, you want 2 or 3 different greens, because if you use all the same green, it can look very, well, it can look a bit boring, to be honest. So, yeah, try and have some different greens, and you can see I have here. So whether it's your Distress inks, whether it's your aqua blend pencils, could be your aqua tints, could be aqua markers, whatever, anything, your colour blend pencils, whatever you're using, these are going to work really nicely for you. And you know that the kind of cards are, you don't have to be crazy on the techniques, they just work. The technique is actually the card itself. You just need to sit and have some fun just doing some pretty colouring. Maybe add a bit of bling here and there. If you want to add a bit of sparkle to your snowdrops, maybe use a little bit of the clear sparkle overlay, which will look really pretty. It's a one-time kind of like, I think, you know, I think you need a bit of bling at Christmas, don't you? Even if it's just in a little subtle fashion. It doesn't have to be, you know, like a disco ball, but just a bit on there. I think it'll look really cool. So that's how I would continue currently. You've got a little taster of what that looks like there. Can you see with little blingy bits? There's one quick thing I want to show you as well. So that's you can continue with that. But another quick thing I need to explain is this is the die, the snowdrop die. Really pretty, so you can just keep cutting them and layer them, and it looks like clumps of snowdrops, which is the whole point to have them 3D. Now there's a stamp to go with that, but I've been a bit clever on giving you value for money. I could have just had a clump like that, which would look just like the die. Okay, nice, fine, but that's what it is. But I thought, why not create a whole scene, so you've got a good scenic stamp. If you just want to stamp, do a bit of water with Distress inks, you've got a card there, and you don't even have to have any dies. You can maybe have one little snowdrop element 3D'd at the front of that. It'd be quicker. If you're doing batch making, fabulous. But I've hidden the stamp that matches this die in amongst that scene. So this is to scale. The rest I could do any size, but that's to scale. It was important that I kept that to scale. So what you would do to ink that up is literally the same thing. We'll ink the snowdrops up, just that bit, and you'll take your snowdrops and you'll turn them over, and you'll just start at one end, press them down, pick the ink up, work your way along. Now if when you're doing this, if you miss a bit, I'm going really quickly here, if you do pick it up and you've missed a bit, have a look at the stamp You know what, I haven't, I've got it all. But have a look at the stamp, and if there's a bit of shiny ink on there, you need to just pop it back over and pick that bit up. But you can see there how quick and easy that was. But it's giving you more value because I've put them in with those scene stamps. And that was my main mission. That's what I wanted to show you. Thank you.